Hi, I'm Gregory Iron, the only professional wrestler with cerebral palsy, motivational speaker, and host of a weekly podcast, Iron on Wrestling. Get it? Because my name is Gregory Iron. Iron on. They call me one-armed and dangerous. I've prided myself on being someone able to compete despite my limitations with one fully functional arm. Pro wrestling was always my passion, my escape. Some of my best friends and my greatest memories I've gotten through pro wrestling. I get hurt in ways that I plan on getting hurt, if I'm lucky. Recently, I was not so lucky. I'm now disarmed. For the next few months, I'm gonna be stuck like this, 6 weeks in a sling, and then learning to reuse my only good arm again. I'm gonna have a lot of time on my hand, and so I'm filling the void by capturing my journey on camera. The highs, lows, taking a trip down memory lane. I don't know what my future holds, but I want to capture my present. All I know is I'm going to do my best to endure today so that I can fight tomorrow.
Well, it's March 31st, 2025. Getting used to the new normal of having no arms and doing a lot of video editing, a lot of writing, but it's a very historical day today.
Wouldn't that be the day of WrestleMania 1?
Surprised you know that. Very, very good. Madison Square Garden, March 31st, 1985, WrestleMania 1 did occur, but it's a bigger occasion than that. I'm anxiously awaiting at this very moment the arrival, the return, of the Little Caesars stuffed pretzel crust pizza.
I still remember the first time we met. That golden crust, that salty silhouette.
The best pizza going today. You want to at me? Go ahead and try it, motherfuckers.
You want to be careful opening the door? Why are you checking the door?
Maybe they'll show up early. I don't know, like I feel like a kid on Christmas right now.
That disappears. 1 minute you're here, and the next you're gone.
I think he just drove by. I almost slipped and fell over the pretzel pizza.
Hey, they're pulling in now.
Okay, good. Hold on, let me. I think I have a tip here in my.
You didn't tip them on the app?
No. Here, give him this.
This is Canadian. $2?
Money is money.
She's very confused by the Canadian coin, by the way.
Well, take it to the goddamn bank. Like, what's that worth? Probably 27 cents American.
Little Caesars, I'm lost without you.
Young Snackery getting ready to take me to the hospital. As we like to call it in the wrestling business, a local medical facility.
To the ambulance be taken, we presume, to a local medical facility for observation treatment.
Bruised ribs and, well, with all due respect, he's also suffering from anal bleeding.
What?
I wonder what the ambulance is doing here. People must be dying to get in here.
Okay.
Well, they're tearing me apart, Lisa. I hate looking at it. Does it look bad?
It looks like things are progressing as well as they could be. The doctor said the incision looks fine, and he actually mentioned, but I tore it completely on both sides. Like, it was not attached at all. He kind of reaffirmed that I made the best decision possible. With the severity of it, the rest of my life would have been compromised, despite being April Fool's Day. A lot of big moments in my life have happened on April 1st. WrestleMania 6, April 1st, 1990. That's why I'm obsessed with wrestling. The person behind that obsession, my grandmother, who was a big closeted wrestling fan. She was my best friend as a kid. On April 1st, 1995 is when I lost my grandma to cancer. 5 years to the day of seeing my first WWF event. I try to keep her memory alive by bringing her up as much as possible, because if it wasn't for her, this obsession would have never even began. I wanted to make my announcement about stepping away from wrestling in the upstate New York area because at ESW, I've had some of the coolest and greatest and funnest matches and moments in my career. I've wrestled top names there, I've gained a lot of friends there, but I think what I'm most known for at Empire State Wrestling is being the longest reigning tag team champions. And I did that with an individual that, coincidentally, I actually wrestled on my first show at ESW.
From the bottom of my heart, speaking for all the guys in the back, I respect the hell out of you. I really do. I respect you for calling the Make-A-Wish Foundation and making your very last wish the chance to wrestle your favorite Nickelodeon superstar, RGC!
What an incredibly talented person. The things that he's doing now, behind the scenes at AEW, on camera, for the pre-shows, I'm not shocked. He's an incredible mind, and he's got a gift for this, especially when it comes to not just wrestling timing, but comedic timing. The art of comedy in wrestling, I don't want to say it's a lost art, but there's beats to it, and you've got to really understand what you're doing.
Well,
his chest is turning red. Look at that.
It is
Look at
turning
that.
red, but
he is giving him a thrashing like I've never seen before.
this is hardcore. Yeah. No, he's patting him on the back.
Good job, Fulton.
Is that an apology? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Are they forming an alliance here?
I think he's inspired. I think Fulton's been. Oh no.
Oh.
It's been a long time since I've actually had a conversation with RJ, and I'm glad that we could set something up.
Sorry about all the delays.
Is this like Drake and Josh, where we repair our relationship?
I didn't think we had anything to repair, but they were going through some stuff. I saw that.
You were really rude to me. I felt uncomfortable on set.
You know, it always goes back to me and you and the tag stuff, and you know the self-aware feud.
I was trying to remember, how did we even come up with that?
We were just thrown together in a team. But we did that for a while, and it was going well, and we had a name, handcrafted, which was... The name was because I had, for a brief period, a parody craft web series on the CBC, and you were handicapped. That was what we were saying with the name. And then we had a title shot, and then we lost. So Brett said, well, you guys lost the title shot. There's nothing else to do now. You guys might as well just break up and feud. And neither of us wanted to do it.
I remember us having a conversation. What a stupid wrestling trope. We can't get on the same page, so now we're going to fight each other. I don't even really feel like at that point the crowd they were into us, but we hadn't like found exactly the thing for them to truly get behind us, because we were still bad guys technically.
But we were also failures, which is endearing.
Yes.
After a certain point, it's endearing. And at that point, I was always very optimistic about wrestling, and then had a string of disappointments that just changed my brain. I was really, really sick of wrestling, but not in a depressing way, but in I would just like to do things I have not seen. You know, we always had this habit of doing stuff backstage that would make us laugh, and then not doing it when we went out there. And then we were like, no, what if that's the stuff that's when we're having fun. So what are we doing? Not that we're pioneers, But like on a wrestling show, it's at least at the very least refreshing for the audience. We're gonna do a feud with two guys who don't want to feud.
All right, never mind. Okay, I'll turn on you. I'll say something insulting to you. Okay, so listen, everybody, we're gonna feud. We really appreciate your help to make this important. Light it up like it's really big. I don't like how you trim your beard.
When I look at you, I don't like the way you style your hair.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit!
What do you think about this?
Are you too?
This is awesome! This is awesome! This is awesome! You forever!
All right, we're feuding. Big feud.
And then, but everyone played along, and that's the thing you forget. Like, the wrestling is a play, but the audience is inside the fourth wall, and they're part of it. And anytime you can get them to participate in a universe, and they're what makes it work, that they're like it wouldn't have been that funny if they weren't reacting.
There's always been this idea that in wrestling, funny does not equal money.
I think that saying comes from most of the comedy in wrestling is not funny. Not funny does not equal money, which is, in that sense, correct. There was comedy wrestlers, and they were relegated to like the same spots of like the test of strength with the dancing. I never found that stuff funny, but then I also found all wrestling to be funny, or at least to have like comedic elements. Like the Three Stooges is mainly violence. Like a lot of violence, like well-timed, tight. They're not sloppy. Can't say that about Mo. I find the same thing about Shawn, and I also think people get really insulted. Comedy is like it uses an insult. Just because something is a joke doesn't mean we're not taking it seriously. If you respect the audience enough to whatever your universe is, like, you got to stick to it.
If it's done right, we suspend our disbelief.
Yes, they suspend it. That doesn't mean they lose all sense of logic. So I think when you reward them for paying attention to stupid stuff, they're happy.
Well, I mean, we gave them the best reward possible with the deathmatch, I think.
That always stuck in my head. You say deathmatch, and they're all still alive. At some point, we have to admit it's not very effective.
Right.
We thought, yes, we have to have a death match, and we have to die.
Well, again, we stuck with the tropes that people know as deathmatch wrestling. Like, so we used skewers, but we did it with marshmallows instead of putting it in our heads, and we did pool noodles instead of kendo sticks,
and set up the table and then put the tablecloth on it.
But my favorite thing is like the little things we did.
This crowd is sick. Let them do it again. Oh, the head!
Concussion City.
Is he dead?
Like you with the cheese grater, grating cheese over my head instead of doing it on my face, and me selling the cheese going into my mouth.
It dawned on me, and I certainly applied it within the last month, how satisfying it is when a feud has an ending.
Yeah.
And I felt so proud of us that we were able to end something.
Take it back. That's it.
It's over!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a no contest. Both competitors have been pronounced dead.
Oh my God. This is wrestling.
And doing the death graphic, which we have seen so many times in horrific, heartbreaking circumstances.
Yeah.
you know, and everyone knows exactly what that looks like.
Do you remember that feeling when, for the next match, we come out as the mystery tag team with sheets over ourselves like ghosts?
Yeah.
Do you remember the feeling of when the scary music stopped and we pulled the sheets off and that reaction from the crowd?
Yeah, and I was like fired up.
Dude, I literally remember thinking, well, I should never wrestle after this match again, because it was like I did nothing but I pretended to be a ghost and walked to the ring, and it was the biggest reaction I had ever gotten.
Did we win?
Nearly lifeless in the ring.
Going to the...
These two men now. It's first pinfall. Gets the win.
Whoa, wait a second. Ladies and gentlemen, your winners and losers and new Empire
How did that work? The rules stated.
Handcrafted.
The rules stated. First pinfall on anybody wins the tag team titles.
We did win, and then the pandemic happened.
Yeah, which made us the longest running tag team champions of all time.
And then I never came back.
Yeah, I had to vacate the titles.
Yeah, I just remember like feeling like we had, at the end of the death match, accomplished something. And I don't mean that as we did anything important.
You say that, you don't like talking about it like it's something important, but here's the thing. I think, as absurd as it was even for pro wrestling, I think what we did left a very memorable impression on anybody that was there to see. I'm proud of the absurdity we created.
And I don't know how you feel, but I'm very happy that I did not quit.
I'm happy you didn't quit either.
Well, yeah, no, I'm saying I don't know how you feel about yourself.
I'm happy that I'm still going, and I don't know about you, but speaking for myself, like I took the time to sort of remember that there are other things that I love and care about, and I think that made the spark for wrestling better. If for whatever reason I can't wrestle again, I think I'm okay with it, but there's something about not the getting hurt part, but like the physicality.
Yeah.
That brings us together. We're not being part of that anymore will suck.
Yeah, you would miss the heterosexual male intimacy. You can fucking say it. It's okay.
Yeah.
I enjoy the lingering sadness of, I could have still done this, or I still feel good, or I enjoy it. That makes me feel like it was good to stop. Because there were plenty of times where I was going to quit for professional reasons and personal reasons. I was just like, okay, I'm going to stop. Like, I have bookings for the next 2 months, and after that, I'm not going to take anymore. Yeah. And then before the end of that, something brand new would happen, where I'm like, well, what else is out there? And I found some things.
Do you miss the act of wrestling, or are you okay where you're at?
I really liked training. I liked rolling around and doing chain, and like, if I could put together a match, have a match, and then have about the 5 minutes after it, everything else I'm just not interested in. Being able to help other people with that, in people that could do things that you could not do, is really nice. And I enjoy doing so much, which is where I was headed anyway.
What you're saying is like really helpful to me mentally. With the things that I'm going through right now, what advice would you have for me?
I think you need to stop looking for meaning in things. Things seem to just happen in life. We try to ascribe meaning to make sense of it, because it's alarming that things don't have sense. Looking back on my journey, that you don't have to be in a good mood to do good work. And sometimes pushing through and doing the good stuff when you feel like shit creates a better feeling. If I was angry and let the anger control me and not produce anything, I wouldn't have done some of what I consider my best stuff, or the stuff that's most meaningful to me. I got the WWE tryout, fucking did not go well. And then it kicked off everything, because I took that And that was a Paul Rubens lesson. He was just like, take that anger and the frustration and disappointment and make something of it. The same way Pee-wee was his way of dealing with not getting Saturday Night Live. There are many more ways to get to that feeling other than just wrestling. You've had a slew of experiences that in wrestling that no one will have but you. Your wonderful feuds you've had. I think about when Punk saluted you on the Indies, and now I think about your brother bathing you.
You know, I really think a lot of you, and I'm glad that we could create stuff together for a period of time, and it means a lot to me.
Yes, it means a lot to me, and it was just like, it means a lot to me that it didn't mean that much to us then. I need to go. I have to go.
Okay,
We've
all
hit
right.
an emotional arc anyway. We're at the peak. Goodbye.
Bye.
I don't know. Why am I getting emotional about this? It's so weird. I need to talk to my therapist like twice a week instead of once a week.
Growing up as a kid with a disability, and I never thought I'd be a pro wrestler. But beyond that, I didn't have the best home life, and it was pro wrestling that helped me push through and overcome incredible physical and emotional pain. I grow up, I find a wrestling school, and I become a pro wrestler, and in order to get through being a pro wrestler, you have to endure, ironically, incredible physical and emotional pain. Sometimes, though, you've got to be realistic and you have to hurt to heal. I tore the pec tendon on my good arm completely. And when I get the surgery, the quality of my life is going to change because I won't be able to lift weights the same anymore, and I won't be able to do this anymore.
Love you!
But I want to tell you guys something, and I mean this. For 18 years, you guys have picked me up when I was hurting. And people in my life, family, friends, they question why I keep doing this. I endure this incredible physical, emotional pain. So for just a few moments, each and every one of you don't have to, because pro wrestling is our escape sometimes, and there's nothing realer than that. So, I want to thank you guys for the moments, the memories. I want to thank you for seeing something in me that I've never seen in myself. Thank you for allowing me to be something bigger than what I am. And thank you for not just looking at me as a great wrestler with a disability. Sincerely, thank you for looking at me as just a great pro wrestler.
There's never been